Um, she said, if we do not include the people, then we're not doing God's job. And she shared then that she actually has a grandson with autism. And she also shared that at some point, she was also included in her early stages that she got into music because. Hello, and welcome to Unoverwhelmed Emotional Fitness. My name is Elvia Diaz, and I am a proud mother and advocate and a coach for families of children with autism or neurodiversity. In this channel, we share reflections, tools, and real life stories that bring hope, emotional strength, and faith on this neurodiversity journey. My goal is to help parents and caregivers feel less overwhelmed and more empowered as we walk this path together. Thank you for being here, and let's take a listen. Hello, everyone. Hello. Today I would like to share something very personal, but it's part of our journey as parents and as the growing pains of our children, in this case with autism. And do you think that a song can actually help to self-regulate? Well, I'm going to tell you a story today that I really would love for you to stay at the end, because believe me, you're going to get very, very excited emotionally, but in a very good way. I'd like to share that when we came to live to San Marcos, Rafael wanted to be part of the choir. So he had been already part of a choir in Mexico, where Miss Rosario, his teacher, had helped him and accepted him. And then that's how Emer, his teacher, also got to know him, started playing the guitar. So he had already had some experience practicing in the and singing at the choir. But so he wanted to be part of the choir here in San Marcos as well. I found out that the Spanish Mass was at noon, and for me, really was late because I like to go early. But I went and talked to the parishioner, Father of Bruce, and he said that I should talk to the director, Miss Eloisa Morales, and so we went to the Mass. But it was at noon, and quite frankly, I was very, very impressed and pleased with the quality of the music that they were playing. And at the same time, I was like, oh my goodness, Rafael is not at that level yet, and I hope they don't reject him. I was very concerned that he would be rejected, but we approached Miss Eloisa, and I was, of course, I was gonna here, this is my son, and I want to do it. So, okay, let him talk. And so he just says, okay, hello, I want to be part of the choir. I can play the guitar and I can sing. So he just takes out his guitar and he starts singing, glory, glory. Rather well, of course, and because he does sing and he does play the guitar. So he just drew a beautiful smile on Miss Eloisa. He says, okay, well, let's see if you can also be committed. So come on Thursday and we'll talk, because if you don't come to practice, you don't get to play on Sundays. So come on Thursday and we'll talk. So sure enough, he went, and she had a talk with him, and she said, you're going to have to commit to come to Thursdays, because it is a privilege to be part of the choir, because you get to sing to God and you put the whole assembly together. So it is an important very, very important commitment. Are you willing? And he said yes. And of course, I had to say yes with him. So, as things progressed, I noticed that he was just, having trouble really concentrating. It was late at night, and at some point, I did get very, well, worried because that he may disturb the peace of the group, and so I called Miss Eloisa, and I told her that maybe it would be best if we just stopped going, that I would find a way to explain to Rafael, because we did not want to disturb the professional level of the group. And gosh, I get emotional thinking of this. She said, if we do not include the people, then we're not doing God's job. And she shared then that she actually has a grandson with autism. And she also shared that at some point, she was also included in her early stages, that she got into music because of a music teacher through a choir in the church, and that she got so interested that even her daughters learned how to play the piano. So she said, sorry, I just need to pay it forward. So I thanked her, and so I obviously made a commitment that I will find more classes for Rafael, because I knew that he would need extra help. So she was kind enough to send me to give me the music before the practice, so he would get to practice the songs beforehand. So I got the music, and I would give it to his teacher, so his teacher would do practice, and obviously he need to learn music, the chords, and it has been very, very interesting, and we've been doing there. And here I really want to stop and thank the whole group for their patience, for their acceptance, for their love. Even when he says, how they do, because he wants validation, of course. And as things should have it, Miss Eloisa had been 40 years in the choir, so she needed to retire. And of course, for the changes are not easy for anyone, but especially for someone with autism, it's even more difficult. So I was, interested in see how the transition was going to be, and so of course at some point, I also spoke with the new director, and Mr. Francisco, and with Noemia, who actually are, very, very helpful and very patient as well. And, I have to be there and try to commit, and helping them myself. So, I really want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, because I'm going to share something that is that I had to ask permission for Rafael to share this, but this is the impact that we make. Being part of a choir with the talent that you all have, it's wonderful, because you get to pray double, as Saint Augustine said. He who sings is like praying double, but also you get the whole assembly to participate and to feel more the mass, which is the best prayer that we all have, with the Eucharist. So really, really thank you. But I want to show you on a personal level for Rafael how being part of the choir has helped him. As with the dynamics, there are good days and some days are not so good. So we we had a difficult morning because of situation that happened. So he went to school, and he just couldn't stay at school because it was just so hard for him. So they called him. They called me and said that he was coming home because it was best for him to be here. So he sent me a text, and luckily I was home, and so he was walking because they were at a site that is very close to my house. So they were walking, and I mean, he texted me saying that he was coming home, and I said, okay, well, if you want to come home, maybe it's best that you stay at the park. So, I know the power of nature is always good for soothing us. And they said, why don't you stay at the park, and just try to breathe. And if you want to come later, or if you rather me go and get you. And he said, no, I want you to come. And I said, okay, fine. Of course, I had to do my own self-regulation because it is hard. It is hard when you find there are these moments. And so I had to just do my own prayer and say, please, God, help me with this new challenge every morning. And so one day at a time, and I just, started praying, and I started walking down to this little park that is here. And when I got there, I'm not ashamed to admit it, it was very, very emotional. I found him crying, but with his phone, praying. He was praying with a song that he learned at the choir. I don't think I have ever been so proud of him. I mean, obviously there are many, many moments that I have been proud of him, but just realizing that he actually has this not only emotional but spiritual tools that he can rely on to get grounded and to come down and self-regulate, it just meant the world to me. And I really thank you for that, because Pablo Picasso said that the purpose of life is finding your gift, but the meaning of life is sharing it. And I thank you all for sharing your gift and your patience and all the extra things that you come, the extra mile for making sure that the choir still continue going. And I appreciate that very, very much, because as one of my friends, Father Steve, said, a person that is accepted and loved is free to grow. So I taped Rafael as he was in the choir singing the song, and I'm gonna share it with you. Obviously, I wasn't gonna tape it when we were at the park, but here is the song that he was actually singing, praying to, and it really, really helped him. So here it is, and thank you all. Thank you for listening. And remember, you're not alone. God loves you. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, and we hope that you enjoyed this content. And if you did, please remember to share. Visit us on our webpage. We have very interesting courses that are especially aimed for overwhelmed parents as we go with this journey. Please remember to subscribe if you're not. Love to have you here as part of the Unoverwhelmed family. And please remember, you're not alone. God loves you. And see you in the next video. Thank you.